Knee a little sore.
Doing all that squatting on the sideline.
I was hurting before that.
You talk about your inefficiency on the defensive glass. You guys gave up 11 offensive rebounds and 18 second chance points.
I think the big thing is help defense penetration. They got good penetrations or they ran hard curls. Our big guys stepped up to help. We got no backside rotation defensively. Therefore, if the big guys stepped up, they was dropping it down. If they was continuing with the shot, they were tipping. The big guys were tipping it in. And penetration, ball defense, played a real big role in them getting offensive rebounds, I thought.
You put Camille in for a couple minutes in the first half, and he kind of took away that presence for just a couple minutes that he was in. Can you talk about why you didn't go back with him? He was getting kind of a big body in Fletcher.
Well, Davis was going good. He was getting some baskets towards the second half. And then when we did make a change, we thought in the middle of the half what Dobbins was still in the game. We couldn't play Dobbins and Camille together. So we had to go with Farrell. And then once we did have a chance to maybe go with Camille, well, we were down a lot now. So, now you got to come out and you got to put a little pressure on them. So now we figure, well, we better stay with one post guy that does a decent job of scoring and then still be able to defend rather than not having rather than have two post guys on the floor. So we had to defend and catch up. So that was one of the reasons why.
What's one of the reasons why sometimes your offense could seem to get stuck swinging the ball around the outside and not penetrating? And I don't know, it seems like sometimes you guys just swing it, and then the clock gets down and you got to force a shot. Is there any particular reason why that's the case?
Well, when you swinging it, you definitely have to get, eventually, you got to get penetration, because when you start to swing it, and they matching you on your swings, then somehow you got to break them down, and that's when you got to look to penetrate, and you got to get in the lanes. You got to make the next pass. That's what they did. They swung the ball, they moved it, then they put it on the floor and got good penetration, and that's something we probably got to do a better job of doing.
With the exception of Antonio, who had a career day, I think, of points and rebounds, your guard play over the last few games, as far as scoring-wise, helping out the guys on the inside, has kind of been down. How do you look to fix that going on? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot you can do other than make shots. I mean, you can sub, but eventually, it all gets down to making shots. I don't think, it goes by whose name it is or whose last name is what. When the ball go up in the air, you got to make shots, and we haven't been doing that.
With the exception of 4 turnovers by Bowdry, he had a pretty decent game of 16 and 6, but he didn't seem to get going until late in the game. Is this something that you'll look to do in future games to get him more involved early so he can maybe keep that hot streak or cause teams to double him so he can get some more open shots for other guys?
Well, I mean, you say he wasn't involved early, but he was involved early, but it was negative. You know what I mean? When he probably, should have been moving the ball a little bit more, because the reason why he started to play well is because he started moving the ball and he wasn't holding it. And Miami is such a good defensive team. You're not gonna beat them on the first 10 seconds of the clock. You gotta work to get points against Miami. They're not giving you nothing free. And I thought the second half he did a better job of moving the ball, and he got a lot easier looks than the first half.
This is a pretty tough spot you got thrown into, having to coach 3 games in a row with Ramsey being out.
I don't think it's a tough spot. I think that's what you get hired for. This is my career. This is what I do. I look at it like that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm no different than when Carlos got hurt. The next guy in line, your job is to step up, and I'm no different than him.
As far as, I'm not sure how you feel about attendance, but I think this is your
most attended home game. Do you think that crowds have a factor in the game, or does it just come down to guys making shots and playing defense?
Everybody likes to see people in the crowd, and that's what I mentioned after the game. I thought we had a real good crowd. I thought we had a good opportunity to play with some energy, to play off the crowd, because like you said, it was a good crowd.
And just any idea when Charles might get back, or just day by day?
Just day by day, I guess. And hopefully, hopefully for the guys, don't get me wrong, I enjoy what I do and all that, but, hopefully for the guys that, and for Charles that he, can get well and make it back,
Being 3-18 at this point in the season, and just the way things haven't been working for you guys, the way that you've been doing them currently, do you see any major changes be made, whether offensively or defensively, or tossing some new schemes into the game plan to try to make some things up and just...
It's 21 games in, so a lot of schemes or changes should have probably already been made. I think if you've seen us play over a period of time, we in games. It's just that we got to get to the point where we're able to sustain what we're doing and have less breakdowns. I think that's got to be the change. Have less breakdowns, being able to sustain and hold in, and then let the other team break down instead of us having breakdowns. I think that's mental changes can be made for sure.
I see the same question as Coach Coles. Do you see any particular reason why the West seems to be doing a little bit better? I mean, the East seems to be doing a little bit better than the West. Or can't pinpoint it?
I mean, I've only been in the league for this is my 4th year, so I can't really explain that. Maybe somebody that's been around a lot longer than myself would do a better job in explaining that, but I couldn't tell you. I mean, I don't worry about the teams in the East and West. I just basically worry about Eastern. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Of the separation.